Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review and a demo of one of the two releases for the holiday season by Fenty Beauty, and this one is the two Lil STUNNAS mini longwear fluid lip color duo. Here it is. Sorry, sometimes I don't realize that I forget I'm here. So I love the Stunna longwear lip paints. I've done reviews on these before. I've pretty much got all of the shades, and I was really excited when I saw that Fenty had released these two. Now they've also released a full set of the gloss bombs. I don't hate the gloss bombs, but I don't tend to wear lip gloss that often. This video aside, because I actually am wearing lip gloss on top of my lipstick. Anyway, but generally I tend to prefer matte liquid lipsticks or just normal lipsticks, purely because I find that glosses feather on me quite a bit. Something to do with my skin, it must be, I don't know. So this retails in the UK at £22, $25 in the US. And it comes with obviously two of the Stunna lip paints, but in a smaller version. So the normal size is a little bit bigger. These are 2 ml each. Very, very small. Not that much in here, but again, they are limited edition purely for the holidays. So it's basically for those of you who want to like jazz up your look at night if we actually do end up going out somewhere. Who knows whether Christmas is cancelled or not. So we can just enjoy Christmas from our back gardens. And that's why they've released these two mini ones. And I really actually do hope that they release these in a larger size, because I will definitely get them. So it comes in this case packaging that you just open it out the back. And then it has the two shades written on the top, which is Unmatched and Underrated. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the naming system of the lip paints, they're always something, like unbuttoned, uncuffed, unbothered. I don't know. What are they going to do when they run out? They've got Unmatched and Underrated here, but I'm sure eventually they're going to run out of Then what are they going to do? I'm struggling to get them out of this thing. So obviously that's good in a way that, you know, in terms of the packaging, just fighting with it. So they come in the classic glass tube with a really long nib on the top, which I find slightly unnecessary, especially because these smaller ones have got a much shorter wand. And I personally actually find the wand quite stumpy and short, because what I've noticed is that when I'm trying to apply it on my lips like this is so long where you hold it, I can't actually see me applying it to my lip, because if you imagine it like this, can you see the front of it? No, you can't. So you can imagine when I'm doing it, I've got to be very careful and angle it in a certain way. So it almost doesn't make sense, like you've got such a stumpy tiny little doe foot applicator, but yet you've got such a long holder. It's really random and a bit weird. So let me just read to you what they say off of their website, as I always tend to do. It says, fire up your holiday spirit. Turn heads in these two mini limited edition Stunna lip paint shades: Unmatched, which is a deep cool red, and Underrated, which is a deep berry shade, that look incredible on all skin tones all night long. Stun and stunt in the liquid lipstick that can keep up in these two head turning high impact shades that look incredible on every skin tone. Stunna lip paint has no immediate feathering, staying kissably smooth for hours on end. The long-lasting matte pigment is so weightless you might even forget you're wearing it. Lip-defining precision wand makes it easier than ever to define and fill your pout in one stroke. Apparently Rihanna's inspiration to just one of them, because she's only talking about the red, which is called Unmatched. She said the perfect red is hard to get right, and it's really hard to find your red that works on your skin tone. I find that comment a little bit strange, considering the first ever lip paint that came out, I think it was called Uncensored. I've still got it. I still absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite reds. That was actually one of the first products that Fenty launched with, along with their foundation. So I'm quite surprised that they've written that on this, because I would personally assume the reason why you launched with that red is because that is the kind of red that would go with everybody. And it says that they contain all vegan ingredients. Now, in terms of the quality and my opinion and thoughts about these lip paints, I've always stated that the Fenty Stunna lip paints is one of my favourite formulas in terms of liquid lipsticks. The consistency is very, very runny and is not thick at all, and I actually agree with all of the claims that they have stated. It does not feather, it does not bleed. Because the texture is so thin, you can barely feel it on your lips. They do have a slight tack to it. I actually find that these two in particular are a tiny bit thicker than their previous ones, and I can only say that because I've obviously tried all of them, and I find those ones a little bit more runny. And because these are tiny bit thicker, when I say tiny bit, I literally mean like 0.001% thicker, I can tell the difference. My lips still feel like a little bit tacky, but not so much for it to be interfering or annoying. For example, like the Maybelline Superstay Matte Inks, they've got a very, very sticky texture, like your mouth will stick together. These ones are similar, but not as much as those. Just to give you kind of context. Personally, I think they're both excellent. I love them both. They look amazing. Oh my God, on my medium skin tone, you should see the way that these pop on my skin. It looks absolutely stunning. It will definitely work with all skin tones like they have said, but remember, it's always dependent on what your natural lip color is as to how the lipstick will show up on your skin. I don't find that you have to layer them, and they apply really easily to the mouth. Yes, they do transfer onto other things, but again, very similarly to the Maybelline one, like I've said, even though it transfers, it's still all over your mouth. So because of the fact that it has got that slight tackiness, if you drink out of a cup or wearing a mask, because that's happened to me, I managed to find out I had little bits of pink or red stuck to the inside of my mask where it transferred, whereas if it was something like the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipsticks, there's no transfer at all because they're so drying, they dry completely down, and therefore there is no real transfer. They do retain a slight amount of sheen to the lips, but nothing that makes it look overly glossy or shiny. I would still call them matte liquid lipsticks because they do look matte, but it's almost like a satin kind of look to the lips rather than completely matte. But again, I think that has something to do with the texture of these because of the fact that they are quite liquidy. I've not had to touch up either of these throughout the day. I literally apply it on my lips, I'd say at about 8:30 in the morning. I came home, for example, yesterday about 10 o'clock at night. It was all still there. It had moved around slightly, and that's because I had a mask on. And again, remember, because of the consistency of it, if you have got a mask and it can get quite hot underneath the face covering, there is the chance that it may move around and transfer slightly. But if you're not wearing a face covering, you'll be absolutely fine. But just bear in mind, if you do accidentally, you will end up with marks on your hand. Now, in terms of how they perform individually, I think these are absolutely great. The first one, which I'm going to show you guys, is the shade called Underrated. Now, this has been described as a deep berry shade. Now, maybe on Rihanna's skin tone it might show up deep berry, but on me it definitely shows up as more of a magenta pink, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I don't really think that the description deep berry is the correct shade because there's not enough purple in here in order for it to be called a berry. You can very clearly see even in the tube it is quite obviously a magenta shade. It looks gorgeous on my skin tone. I think it looks absolutely amazing. I think all of you will love it. It looks great. It's really like a standout kind of color. So if you were to go with more simple neutral eyes, this kind of color will look absolutely gorgeous on you, and it doesn't matter what your skin tone is, it will look fabulous. Now, moving on to the next one, which is called Unmatched, which is described as a deep cool toned red. I don't really agree with their description. Again, I don't find cool toned from this. I wore this yesterday. This is the one that I wore all day long. It looked gorgeous on me. It looks like a deep red shade. Now, in comparison to one like Uncensored, which is a very bright kind of red, this one is that, but a much deeper toned kind of red. This is the kind of red that most people will tend to go for because they find Uncensored to be too bright. If you've got deeper skin tone, amazing. This is like your perfect holiday color. If you've got medium skin tone like myself, it really stands out. If anything, I find that it's got an almost like, it looks like the shade Dance With Me by MAC, one of their retro matte lipsticks. It looks almost like that. I think that this is an amazing red shade. I actually think that I prefer this to Uncensored. And don't forget, Uncensored is one of my favorites. This has fast become another one of my favorite red lipsticks. It's your perfect Indian bridal kind of red. Indian bridal shades, especially when it comes to red, we don't like to wear brick reds. We don't like to wear bright in your face reds. We like to have deep toned, almost blood red lips. And that's exactly what this looks like. I'm really happy with this. Again, it performs beautifully, lasts on the lips all day, aside from the slight transfer if you touch your mouth. But other than that, I cannot fault this one at all. Overall, I give both of these a 10 out of 10. They're absolutely excellent. For £22, it's not too bad. That makes them £11 each. But more than likely, you can get some money off. I bought mine from Harvey Nichols. I had a 10% off voucher. I got 10% off. You can buy it in Boots in the UK as well. If you've got Boots points, you can get it for free. or you can wait until they do 15% off, which they do often. Let's be honest, we're still in the middle of a pandemic and every single retailer out there wants your money. So there are deals going on left, right and center. So even though this is brand new, more than likely you will be able to get some sort of money off. Anyway, I hope that short, sharp review was useful to you guys. Hope you guys are wonderful and great and enjoyed this review. Let me know what your thoughts are about these. Are you thinking about getting them, planning on getting them? Do you think that we should have them in full size? I think that we should. Let me know your thoughts below. Other than that, I hope you guys are wonderful and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.